Hello, hi, welcome once again to M5's new English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan and I'm here on your TV to help you learn English. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Yes? Good. And are you ready for today's lesson? Yes? Good. Okay, well, let's learn English together. Great. So, here we are, once again, sandwiched between Christmas and New Year, ready to think about what we learned in lessons 11 to 14. Okay. Now, last lesson, we looked at what we learned in week 13. In week 13, we started to look at the past simple tense. Before we started the past simple, we checked the present simple tense, the positive, negative, and question forms. Okay, great. So we remember the verb to be in the present simple, the positive, the negative, the singular and the plural forms. We also know the question form, don't we? That's right. Now, who remembers what happens when we make a question using the present simple tense? Bingo! You're on fire today. When we make a question with the present simple, the word order changes and we add a question mark to the end to show it's a question. Do you remember? I am becomes am I. I am I. You are you. He is he. She is she. It is it. We are we. You are you. They are they. So, we know how to ask questions in the present simple with the verb to be. And we know that when we ask a question, we use the full version of the verb to be, not the short version. When we answer in the positive, we use the full version of the verb to be. But if the answer is negative, we normally use the short version of the verb to be. Are we gods of English? Yes, we are. Are we giraffes? No, we're not. Great. So, the time is now right for us to meet the past simple form of the verb to be. Hang on to your hats. Here we go. Let's look at Dave Squid. He's at work now. We can tell he's at work because we can see that he's wearing his police uniform and he's at the police station. Last night, at 11:30 p.m., Dave Squid wasn't at work. Last night, at 11:30 p.m., Dave was in bed. He was asleep. Okay, so that was the past simple. We used the present simple and present continuous to describe what Dave is doing now. He's at work. He is at work. We're using the present simple tense. And how do we know that Dave's at work? Well, we can see that he's at work. He's wearing his uniform. And we know that Dave wears his uniform when he's at work. He wears his uniform when he's working. Logically, if he's wearing his uniform, he's at work. He's working. Okay, now let's look at the form of the past simple. In the present simple, what's the form we use for Dave Squid? Well, Dave Squid is the third person singular. So what's the correct form? That's right. The third person singular form is one we have to be careful with. We have to be careful with the first person singular and the third person singular form in the verb to be in the present simple. We can't say I is and we can't say he are. With the first person singular, the form is am. I am. And the correct form for the third person singular is. He is, she is, and it is. Okie dokie, happy blokey. So, if we're using the present simple form of the verb to be to talk about Dave Squid, we say Dave Squid is, or Dave is, or he is. Fine, we know that. Now, think about what we said about last night. Last night, at 11:30 p.m, Dave Squid wasn't at work. Last night, at 11:30 p.m, Dave was in bed. He was asleep. Okay, great. So, what's the correct form for the third person singular of the verb to be in the past simple tense? Bingo, lotto, goal, shot, ace, hole in one. You nailed it. God of English that you are. Well done. The correct form for the third person singular of the verb to be in the past simple tense is was. That's it. Simple. He is the present simple form. He was is the past simple form. Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bong, bing, bong, bong. Okay, that seems easy enough, doesn't it? Well, if we know how to change from the present simple form of the verb to be into the past simple form of the verb to be for the third person singular, he is becomes he was, she is becomes she was, and it is becomes it was, then what happens with the other forms? What changes when we go from the present simple form of the first person singular? Well, I am becomes I was. Easy, simple, easy peasy, ham and cheesy. Well, hang on. If we know the correct past simple form of the verb to be in the first person singular and the third person singular, why don't we look at the other forms? Let's go for it. Gods of English, unite. Okay, what's the full form for the past simple tense of the verb to be? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, pigs, rabbits and fish. Here, for the benefit of your English language learning skills, is the past simple tense for the verb to be. I was, you were, he was, she was, it was, we were, you were, they were. Okay, well, that's not so difficult, is it? Where do we have to be careful? Well, the more difficult ones are the second person singular and the plural forms. But they're not very difficult. In the past simple version of the verb to be, we've got two forms. We use was for the first person singular and the third person singular forms. So, if we're talking about I, or he, she, or it, then we use was. I was, he was, she was, it was. Simple. If we're making a sentence with the second person singular, you, or the plural forms, we, you, and they, then we use were. Easy. Okay, let's have a little practice. Look at these sentences. They're in the present simple tense, and they all have the correct version of the verb to be. Now, we're going to change the sentence by putting it into the past. Let's look at the first one together, shall we? Alfredo Benchfield is at work. Yesterday, Alfredo Benchfield at work. So, what's the correct complete sentence? That's right. Yesterday is in the past, so we have to change the verb to be from the third person singular form in the present simple tense, is, to the third person singular form in the past simple tense, Was. So, my gods of English, what's the correct sentence? Bingo! They shoot, they score. The correct sentence is, yesterday, Alfredo Benchfield was at work. Excellent, right you are, Squire, corrector doodly doodly doo. Brilliant. Okay, let's try a few more. Doreen Benchfield is at school now. Yesterday, Doreen was at school. I'm tired. Yesterday, I was also tired. You're in your kitchen learning English. Yesterday, you were in your kitchen learning English. Okay, let's hear the answers. Yesterday, Doreen was at school. Yesterday, I was also tired. Yesterday, you were in your kitchen learning English. Now, also in week 13, in lesson 63, in the 63rd lesson, we checked the past simple once again. Then we checked our days and dates. And then we had another look at the prepositions that we know and learned some more prepositions. This time, prepositions of movement. Have a look at this picture. This is in. And this is into. So, it's the same idea, but in is a preposition of place, and into is a preposition of movement. The cat jumped into the box. Now the cat is in the box. Okay, let's look at another preposition of movement, onto. Now, we know the preposition of place on. The dog is on the bed. Okay, now, at 10:30 a.m., the dog was on the floor. At 10:31 a.m., the dog was on the bed. What happened? Well, the dog jumped onto the bed. So, just like with in and into, on and onto are connected. In is a preposition of place, and the same idea with movement is into. On is a preposition of place, and the same idea connected to movement is onto. Look at these two pictures. First we have on. Doreen's dog is on the bed, and this is onto. So, you see, they're connected, but one is a preposition of place and the other is a preposition of movement. My hat is on my head. How did my hat get there? I put my hat onto my head. Okay, and that's all we have time for today. We're out of time, and it's time to go home. Okay, well, I hope you had fun today. I had fun. I'll see you next lesson for some more English language fun on M5's English language learning program, Let's Speak English. I'm Gav Duncan, not Leslie Nielsen or Peter Lupus. I'm Gav Duncan, and I'll see you in the new year. See you later. Bye.